Well, we can't celebrate Asian Pacific American Heritage Month without talking about the delicious food, including authentic Indian cuisine. There are 28 states and 8 territories in India, but if you take a look at local Indian restaurants, that range isn't quite represented.
Married business partners Vinod Kalathil and Margaret Pak are hoping to change that by bringing more diversity to your plate.
In India, on the southwest coast, there's a state called Kerala, and that's where Vinod is from. It's a very tropical, lush place. We've been partners in crime, married for 17 years. 19 years ago, it was this egg curry that he made. It was just so homey, just so comforting, just so beautiful. I was like, what the heck is this? And this guy can cook. Learning about Vinod's culture was just so eye-opening. I had had Indian food before, but this was completely different.
Most of Indian restaurants is Punjabi food, which is from North India, and they are all dairy-based, mostly. And when you go down to the south, you start not using dairy.
Coconut chips, shallots, and curry leaves, and coconut on coconut. Kerala is lined with coconut trees, so we use coconut oil, coconut chips, coconut milk, coconut, everything. Appam is a fermented rice and coconut crepe. These are boiled eggs served in a tomato coconut gravy. We wanted to share this cuisine beyond our friends. For 2 years, I prepped all the food for the Kimski menu. Going from prep cook to doing these pop-ups, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And people were coming. It was like, who are these people? Kerala cuisine, you can't find it anywhere else in Chicago.
The regional differences should be emphasized. No one says European food, right? We say French food, we say Italian food. We're talking about India as a subcontinent where when you cross a state border, you actually speak a completely different language. Food is different, the language is different, the script even is different, but people see it as one country, which is amazing. At the same time, the diversity needs to be, not just in Chicago, around the world, it needs to be recognized that it is actually a much more diverse country than just chicken tikka masala or naan.
Another couple taking the Chicago food scene by storm, Tim Flores and Jeannie Kwan, the owners of Kasama. Tim and Jeannie tell us how Kasama went from a quaint cafe to a Michelin star Filipino restaurant, the only one of its kind in America. Flores and Kwan have come a long way in the last 2 years.
We didn't have chairs or tables or plates or glasses like a normal restaurant did. We had, paper cups and to-go boxes.
But the proof has always been in the pudding when it comes to their modern Filipino dishes.
One of our servers was like, I've never seen so many people cry at a meal and at dinner, and it's because these dishes, even though they're different and we're modernizing them, still evoke that feeling and memory.
Memories Flores shares when thinking about his childhood.
All of our family gatherings were always centered around food, and my mom's a really great cook.
But Flores and Kwan didn't see these Filipino meals when they began working in Chicago's upscale food industry.
When it came time for us to open something, it didn't really cross my mind, and then I thought, why not? Why not cook Filipino food? Why not cook the food that I grew up eating? For the tasting menu, it's all kind of classic Filipino dishes, lumpia, adobo, pancit, and then other ones like kare-kare.
And of course, a taste of Chicago.
And we do our take on the Italian beef sandwich, and instead of shaved Italian beef, we have shaved pork adobo. And instead of the Italian sausage, we do our house-made longanisa. And so that's a perfect combination of being Filipino raised in Chicago.
With reservations booked for at least the next 45 days, Flores and Kwan have been busy and grateful.
I think it just makes us feel good about what we're doing and the hospitality that we're giving, and it's nice that it's being well received.
Hey, Kate. Hi. How are you? So good to see you. Welcome. It smells so good in here.
I know. Like my kitchen, right?
Just like it.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's go eat.
Exciting.
Okay, let me tell you what we're looking at here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some traditional dishes here that they beautifully made for us. We got lumpia, we've got a traditional Filipino breakfast, but you have something way more unique. You've got that traditional Filipino breakfast sausage, a little bit of chicken adobo on top with a Chicago twist. Warning you now though, Eric, after this, we're probably gonna have to hit the gym.
Oh yeah, but so worth it. And actually our next story features someone who's no stranger to the gym. We want to introduce you to a husband, father, and superstar athlete who isn't letting Parkinson's disease keep him from achieving his goals. Meet Jimmy Choi.
I've ran over 100 half marathons, completed 16 marathons. I ran an ultra marathon, triathlons. I've completed 100-mile bike rides. And actually, I was the first person with Parkinson's to complete a 100-mile bike ride in under 5 hours. I was diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's at the age of 27. I immediately went into anger. And to be honest, that led to depression. For the next 8 years, I actually did nothing. I did absolutely the bare minimum I needed to do.
Then one day in 2010, Jimmy was faced with a wake-up call. With his disease progressing and symptoms getting worse, he tumbled down a flight of stairs while carrying his then 10-month-old son.
I kept him above my body, so I took the brunt of the fall. But really the hardest part for me is when I hit the bottom of the stairs, I saw my daughter and my wife staring at me because they witnessed the fall. I knew then at that time that I needed to make a change. I couldn't change the fact that I had Parkinson's, but I can certainly change the way that I lived with it.
Jimmy signed up for clinical trials and quickly realized that the mandatory exercise component was beneficial to his physical and mental well-being. He incorporated more and more exercise into his daily routine.
Every day, I went further and further, and before you know it, I was walking around the block. Next thing you know, these blocks became miles, right? And then I started running, and I just kept pushing the limits. I didn't stop there.
On his fitness journey, Jimmy went on to run marathons. He set not one, but 2 Guinness World Records, and even competed against elite athletes on American Ninja Warrior. But despite his physical accomplishments, Jimmy is most proud of one thing.
My wife and I have helped raise more than $700,000 for Parkinson's research. In my advocacy work for raising Parkinson's awareness, there's a really underserved community, and that's the minority community in the Parkinson's world.
Born in Taiwan, Jimmy and his family immigrated to the United States in the mid-1980s when he was 10 years old.
Just like everything in the 1970s, I was made in Taiwan. We came to the United States with nothing. My brothers and I didn't speak any English. When I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, the culture for Asian families is, oh my goodness, there's a disease. It's a sign of weakness. So let's not talk about the disease. Sharing my story, I noticed that it helped others. So one of the goals for me in my advocacy work is to make sure that we lessen that cultural gap. It's hard. It's hard. Parkinson's sucks. Doesn't matter how hard I train, doesn't matter. I'm never going to be able to outrun the disease, and I know that. But I keep doing these things because if I can stay pace, if I can stay pace with a progressing disease, that means I'm winning.
Up next on Our Chicago, Asian Voices.
Chicago has such a rich poetry community. I know that people in our community have the stories to tell.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.